Coming up on ATV News,
we'll tell you what steps cops have made in an ongoing homicide investigation in Preston, Idaho.
we'll show you an annual event that has big plans for the future.
We'll show you who takes care of all that stuff after you throw it away.
In sports, I'll show you San Jose State's beating and what was on USU's ice besides the puck.
It's colder than Antarctica in some parts of the country. I'll tell you what you can expect here in Utah during weather.
All that and more, this is ATV News. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Ed Collins.
And I'm Nick Porth.
Police arrested a suspect involved in what they are calling a homicide. Marlon McQueen was arraigned in the magistrate court in connection to the homicide of Wilden Levin, whose body was found January 26th. According to a press release from Franklin County Sheriff's Office, Levin was stabbed multiple times. They also say that the murder was premeditated. The judge set McQueen's bond at $1 million. Utah Highway Patrol says they stopped Manaway Chief of Police Shane Ziles in Wellsville. They cited him for driving a patrol vehicle under the influence.
You may have seen an ambulance outside the Ag Science building on Wednesday morning. Medics took a USU student to the hospital after police officers said the female was having difficulty breathing in an Ag Science bathroom.
Nearly 300 Native Americans lost their lives in the Bear River Massacre. ATV's McKay Jensen is live with more on the story.
That's right. The Northwestern Band of Shoshone Nation held a memorial to commemorate the incident. I was able to attend the event and see what plans they have for the future. These people gathered to memorialize the deadliest attack carried out by U.S. military on Native Americans.
My grandmother shining down on me.
On January 29, 1863, U.S. soldiers attacked a Shoshone tribe just north of what is now Preston, Idaho. 200 American soldiers killed 300 Shoshone Native Americans. To the tribe's descendants, this was not just a battle. This was a massacre.
They tried to completely wipe us out. There was women, children. We weren't hostile. We had no idea that they were coming. They came early in the morning.
Instead of focusing on grievances, which could well be justified, the Northern Band of Shoshone and many other tribes who came to support focused on hope and healing and coming together, not just as tribes and First Nation people, but as a greater community.
If you can't learn from the past, then you're disregarding the wisdom of the ages.
Some appropriations that we hope will be able to go to the interpretive center.
To educate the public on the massacre and Shoshone culture, the Northwestern Band of Shoshone Nation is planning an interpretive center after acquiring 650 acres of the site. Across the street from the memorial, this teepee marks where the new interpretive center will be built.
It's going to kind of flow with the ground. It's going to look like it's underground. It's going to be pretty impressive.
The Northwestern Band of Shoshone Nation say they are hopeful that construction will begin this fall. Live in the newsroom, McKay Jensen, ATV News.
Thanks, McKay.
The list of candidates running for USU's Student Association is now out for the 2019 elections. Over 30 students are running in the US-USA elections. 4 students are running for the president's seat. Candidate Josh Johnson says USU students should know the importance of voting.
As Aggies, we have a civic duty, a responsibility to vote in our student government, and that's what US-USA is.
The primary elections begin on February 25th. Arity, what do we have coming up in weather?
Coming up, I'll tell you if you can expect freezing temperatures next week. The current temperature in Logan is 31 degrees.
And coming up, you may have to take a loan out to pay for textbooks. We'll show you a way you can save.
We'll show you what Special Collections is doing in response to a stolen artifact.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules. You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
Here in the garage.
Closet? Shoebox under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Thanks for sticking with us. We're just going to jump right on into our national weather. As you can see, on the northeast part of the country, there's not a whole lot of precipitation going on. A little bit here, but not too heavy of storms. In California, however, they are going to be experiencing a storm in the next couple of days, probably some today too. Let's take a look at our national temperatures. Okay, so you've probably heard all about the polar vortex that's moving in. It's really hitting the northeast part of the country pretty hard. It is a little bit warm in the Midwest, but still pretty chilly. I say warm as in comparison to yesterday when they were closing down schools and they didn't even have the post office up and running. People were not getting their mail because it was too cold to be outside. In California, the West Coast, it is a little bit warmer, but they're still experiencing some cold temperatures as well. No one is really safe from this polar vortex. Let's move on to our state, or our graphic, yes. Okay, so we're gonna compare everything to Antarctica here. It is negative 15 degrees today in Antarctica, but in New Hampshire, it is negative 19, and that is without wind chill. With wind chill, it's actually negative 71, which is crazy to think about. In Wisconsin, it's negative 4, but it is negative 21 with wind chill. New York, we have negative 6, but it's negative 17 with wind chill. Minnesota, we got negative 7, but it is negative 26 with wind chill. North Dakota, negative 2, but it is, what is it? It's negative 30 with wind chill. In Illinois, we have negative 1, but it's actually negative 10 outside is what it feels like. Now let's move on to our state. Here we go. Okay, so we got a little bit of precipitation moving in around here, but not too much going on. Let's take a look at our 7-day because that's where we're really concerned is the temperatures. Everything's about the temperatures right now. So Thursday, we got sunny with 31 degrees and a low of 16, which is a nice change in comparison to the Midwest where it's cold. Friday, it is sunny with a high of 32 and a low of 27, not too different from Thursday. Saturday, we are going to be seeing some rain. High of 44, low of 33. Interesting that it's going to be cloudy out, but it's going to be warmer, but we'll take it. Sunday, it is going to be rainy and a high of 38, low of 25. Let's see here. Monday, still some more rain, high of 37, low of 23. Tuesday, we're going to see some snow and rain mix with a high of 26 and a low of 11. Wednesday is going to be pretty chilly out, high of 20 and a low of 4. So if you're doing anything outside, I highly suggest wearing layers. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Arity. When you throw something in a recycling bin, it doesn't just disappear. I explored the place where it all ends up and talked with someone who sees the things you recycle. A roll-off truck, a noisy can of liquid nitrogen, and a pile of old batteries all live where this ends up. But do USU students know what happens to their recycling after they toss it?
I presume it goes to some recycle plant. I don't know the whole process. I've never really been involved in it, so.
I do. I volunteered at the recycling center on campus a couple of times, so yeah, I have a pretty basic idea.
My home's under Logan City's recycling system where we're able to mix everything. So I went to a university recycling shed to show their typical setup. As you can see over here, there are clearly marked container bins, a cardboard area here in the back, and paper bins over here. USU Recycling says they do this on purpose. The center has machines that process several of the specific categories that the shed outlined, including a cardboard baler, a paper shredder, and a styrofoam compactor, along with a sorting line where these workers take bins of recycling and sort them by hand, which isn't as straightforward as it may seem.
It blows my mind what people think is recyclable. People just straight up put bags full of like rotten food and stuff, and it just throws a big kink in everything.
And even for a place that deals with old tin cans and constant dust, those aren't the worst items workers have encountered.
Used feminine hygiene products, lots of toiletries, and used condoms. Those are about the grossest things you can find, and I found them multiple times. It's pretty gross.
Daniel said that by paying a little bit of attention to where you put stuff, you can make a big difference.
Just be nice.
Davey said that when you separate paper from plastics, it keeps the paper clean, making it far more valuable when they sell it.
Some students at Utah State University don't buy textbooks because they are too expensive. But our Corinne LaRue found out maybe you don't have to.
The USU Library has a program that allows students access to the textbooks required in their class without costing the student any money.
Coming here, you're going to save a lot of money. Basically, I don't know, textbooks have gotten outrageous over the years.
Students frequently pay hundreds of dollars a semester for books.
This semester especially has hit me really hard, and it's been upwards of $300, $400 just for textbooks that I'm not even sure if I'm going to use.
If you want to borrow a textbook from the library, go to the course reserves room on the first floor.
All you need to do is show up with your student ID, know your professor's last name, and the name of the textbook.
You're all good?
And you could get a textbook like this for up to 3 hours for free.
So although buying textbooks may feel like a waste of money,
it's frustrating and it's expensive, and I always feel like I'm kind of getting robbed in a way.
At the library, you can get textbooks for
totally free.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Corinne LaRue, ATV News.
If the textbook you need isn't available for rent, ask your professor if they can put the textbook on reserve for your class.
ATV's Corinne LaRue takes you back to the library to the Special Collections Department to find out why it has had some new security rules.
These books belong to the university's Special Collections Archive. Last fall, curators say this man stole a rare photo from the archive.
And I was very, very surprised that it was this individual, because he didn't come across as like an Ocean's 11 like style type.
Farr said the man registered at the front desk like all others do, and that's why they were able to find him. But Farr says if other security measures were in place, they could have avoided the theft in the first place.
And he actually slid the photo into his iPad case. And so now we have them checking it briefly. When patrons exit, we're just...
The new security rules include leaving coats in a separate room while you research, registering with a photo ID at the front desk, and a few others.
We need to know who's there and when they're using our materials.
Corinne LaRue, ATV News.
For a complete list of new rules, you can visit Special Collections in the basement of the Merle Cazier Library. Bobby Russell is joining us for sports. What's going on?
Wow, what's coming up on sports, Bobby?
Hi, Ed. Hi, Nick. Coming up, I'll show you an Aggie that got his first points on the team.
This club is trying to keep you safe on campus. We'll show you how taking 2 hours out of your Saturday can help you in the long run.
This venue has made some big changes in the past year. Coming up, some of the things they've done and how it's affected them.
So how much longer do you think we're going to be studying for?
Probably another hour or so.
Okay.
But that still worked out.
Where have you been? Do you know how long I've been waiting? I don't care. What did you even get? You don't do anything right. Is that what I said? What are you good for? You're such an idiot. You know, you drive me crazy. I've been texting you, you don't respond to me. You make me talk to you this way. This isn't what I want. You do this. You're the dumb one. Why am I with you?
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Sports, sports, sports. Welcome to this edition. I'm Bobby Russell. Men's basketball competed against San Jose State in the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum last night. Noah Baumann scored 15 points but was rejected these two by Nemius Kita. Quinn Taylor passes to Sam Merrill, who shoots 3 of his 29 points in this game, and Christian Anogwe tries to get in another 2 and is blocked by Quinn Taylor. Aggies had another good passing possession here that finished with a layup from Merrill. Aggies had good ball movement right here, finishing with a Kata layup and foul. Atarian Knight passes to Alec Johnson for his first 3 points and his first points of his basketball career. Utah State defeated San Jose State 103-73, and USU head coach Craig Smith says he is happy Johnson got on the board.
And it was fun to see Alec Johnson get his first career points, and he just stepped right in there and knocked that thing down without hesitation.
The Aggies will compete against UNLV in the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum this Saturday. Last Friday, the hockey team took time during the game to interact with fans while giving back to the community. Number 12, Cutshaw dances with fans as they throw stuffed animals onto the ice during the annual teddy bear toss. Fans were asked to bring lightly used stuffed animals that they would throw onto the ice after the Aggies' first goal. However, the fans didn't quite follow the rules and threw them to protest a penalty against the Aggies. The hockey team says that's no big deal because in the end it's going to a great cause.
We donate them to local police stations, fire departments, the family place. Basically, they go to children in crisis.
After the toss, the Aggies managed to score 3 points, giving them the edge over the University of Colorado, and picked up a second win on Saturday against the Metro State Roadrunners. USU Gymnastics compete away from home these next 2 weeks. On Friday, February 1st, USU Gymnastics compete in Cedar City at 7 p.m. against Southern Utah University. On February 8th, they compete against number 9 Boise State University. Are you throwing a Super Bowl party this weekend? National Federal Research Association says consumers spend about $15 billion on the big game. Fans spend money on party decorations, clothing items, and food. 8% of people who watch the Super Bowl will buy a new TV and decorations for their party at home. 18% will host a party and 28% will attend one. The study says 5% will watch the game in bars and restaurants. You're all caught up on sports. Back to you, Ed.
Thanks, Bobby. Speaking of sports, do you think you're good enough to play video games competitively? Even if you don't think you are, the USU Esports Club has a community that will help you find out.
the USU Esports Club held its first video game social of the year earlier this week, offering students a chance to come together and play some games.
There's this whole social aspect of gaming that people don't really talk about very much, and that social aspect is what keeps a club like this alive.
The Esports Club focuses on developing a community for gamers within USU's student body.
Anyone can join, I feel, as long as, again, like, you're just willing to communicate and have some fun.
For some gamers, it's just a game. For others, it's more than that.
I grew up in Compton, California, and if many of you know, like, it's not the best place to grow up as a kid. And what kept me off the streets was my parents and letting me and my brothers play video games.
Davila has been president of the club for the past 2.5 years, and in that time, the club has seen significant growth.
A large part of that club growth has happened because it doesn't matter if you play with this or with this.
I mean, you have PC, obviously, like, that's what it seems like it's mostly centered around. But then I've seen that there's arcade games, Smash, there's Tekken. Really, as long as you play some sort of something, I feel like that you can be a part of an esports community.
Most of the games the club chooses to focus on are mainly on PC, but they have made sure to include more video game consoles as well.
I'm not going to turn anyone away. We'll play anything anything we realistically can. We have Mac computers, we have Windows computers, we have a PlayStation 4, we have an Xbox One, Switch. So just come on out, play, have a good time, say hello.
Michael Kay, ATV News.
Check out our Facebook page to find out more about the USU Esports Club.
Imagine not being able to defend yourself when you need it the most. The USU Jiu-Jitsu Club is trying to change that.
That's a common sound at the USU Jiu-Jitsu Club meetings.
I mean, it's a lot of fun. It really doesn't hurt as bad as you think when you're learning. I know that can deter people. That was my biggest deterrent. I didn't want to get hurt, and I haven't.
I can go ahead and do it from here.
This club teaches you more than just self-defense moves.
It teaches you about the body, the nerve bundles to hit, the way takedowns work, and kind of that anatomy of it.
They'll teach you moves like these so you can stay safe on campus.
When you help somebody else in a violent situation, or when you help yourself get out of a violent situation, you have made the campus better.
Hayden says learning jiu-jitsu has not only helped him personally, but also those around him.
They, every once in a while, ask me questions on how to avoid certain things. So I do feel like being in this club has really helped me personally be a help to other people.
Ashley says jiu-jitsu is something more women should learn.
You'll never know when you'll need it. It's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of work. Even just knowing the simple techniques could help you in the future.
Cameron Kelly, ATV News.
The USU Jiu-Jitsu Club meets on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Hyper.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, meditation is good for people's well-being and productivity. You can learn more about meditation at local group meetings. About 3 blocks west of USU is the Cache Valley Unitarian House that is home to the Cache Valley Sangha. Sangha is based on Buddhist traditions and focuses on meditation. This community says their practice isn't formal because they have no designated teacher. They say they meditate to stay more aware and present.
A technique to realize presence, to realize who we are, and to live life more fully and more skillfully.
Cache Valley Sangha meets every Monday at 7 p.m. and they say any meditation levels are welcomed.
With the new changes at Y Sound venue, you can experience a wider variety of music and performers. I had the opportunity to see some of the improvements the venue has made.
Do you want to take the stage? Or record an album? With some improvements in the last year, Y Sound is now better able to accommodate those ambitions.
So some of the big changes we made is we tore down one of the walls and moved the stage to the other side just to open up the seating and standing area of the venue. We also put in all this art that's hanging up, so we curated that and got a lot of different local artists to come in and donate their artwork and their time.
And that's not all.
We've also done a lot of improvements to the studio upstairs between like isolation and just getting better recording projects and things like that. And yeah, it's just a lot of little upgrades here and there, and we keep making more and more.
With different acts performing each week, you can always catch something new. And if you're ever wondering who's performing, they put it right on the board.
Some frequent visitors have noticed the changes.
I think it's really put in more of a better atmosphere for people to feel not necessarily in like a dark room like it was beforehand, but more in actually a show where they're involved.
Wilson says business is improving.
We've definitely noticed a pretty steady increase, and we just hope it continues.
Y Sound features a weekly poetry night, an open mic night, as well as musical acts from local and touring artists.
What good is silence on the battlefield if one's emotions are in turmoil? That was a line from a new poetry book, Welcome Dangerous Life, written by a USU English professor. Ben Gunsberg's first book was published in fall. Gunsberg invited the public to hear him read from his book, Welcome Dangerous Life, on Tuesday in the Merle Kezier Library on USU's campus.
The poems sort of trickled out into literary journals first, and some of the poems appeared in a chapbook a couple of years ago called Rhapsodies with Portraits, and then this complete collection came out in the fall.
At some point, the experiment ends, and soldiers return to their regular lives, eating hot dogs, carrying babies home from barbecues, making love.
Elf read pieces from the published work, and listeners took notes. He held a book signing after the reading so readers could speak with him more personally while walking away with an autographed piece. Gunsberg says he hopes one day he will be able to publish another book. He encourages any student, no matter their major, to take an English course during their schooling. Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
Catch all latest editions of our ATV News on our Facebook page. We'll leave you with a few shots of campus.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Quiet, please. Wait a sec. I'll take one. Oh yeah. All right. All good. Take care. Way to go. Nice. Bring it on. Gotcha. I'm here for you. Oh no. Please, please, please. I'm waiting. Interesting. Not buying it. Not fair. That's it. This conversation is over. Oh, brother.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having a stroke.
Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately.